What's going on, guys? This is Coach Greg Souders. I'm here watching the match with Deandre Corbe and Diego Pato, and I'll be breaking it down and sharing my thoughts with you guys. So before the match even starts, we knew what to expect going in. We watch a lot of Pato, being the #1 guy in the spot. We want to see what he's capable of, what he does well, what he does poorly. And even going into this match, I was extremely confident. I think stylistically, like I've said before, this is a bad matchup for Pato. I think D's strong base on top, his resistance to leg locks and submissions in general, and his ability to hold his partner down and not get put down, I think really challenges what Pato's capable of. Pato's main area of danger is his early catches. He's got devastating bites on the legs and arms, which you see here in the beginning of the match. You see Diego get some good bites in the first few minutes, but once Deandre was able to withstand them, it went as we expected. Now, if you see here early in the match, you see right away D paying extra special attention to clearing feet and keeping Pato out of the middle. We know that it's literally impossible to entangle if you can't get some aspect of inside position on your partner. And so training him to hand fight the feet effectively, keeping them out of the center, was huge, especially for this match. We also trained him to stay close and not flee. Pato catches a lot of people who they're scared of him, they run, and they leave things hanging. And so we didn't want that to happen. So Deandre is pressing heavy here, trying to stay as close to him as possible while he fights to clear the hands and feet. And we go right back to the process. So the whole idea is that, we have a 10-minute match. And if you're able to make a bottom player carry weight for an extended period of time, their frames weaken, their structure weakens, they become much more easy to manipulate. So by not letting Pato create any distance, any real distance anyway, it's very difficult for him to get off an attack. Again, he'll be carrying that weight for long periods of time, hopefully making him more vulnerable to D's passing. Now, once they're grounded here, one thing we worked on is a foot position we call short-long. As you see here, there's one hook on the closed side and one hook on the far side. We use this to create strong destabilization towards entanglements. So destabilization being using the connection to the short-long to put the top player on their hips or hands continuously, and of course try to make hip attachment or come back to the top position as you see here. Just like the top, focusing D's grip fighting on keeping Pato out of the middle. When D's on the bottom, he focuses on keeping the middle. So if you see how well D keeps his feet in between Pato's knees, making it very hard for Pato to stay stable on top and get any type of passing opportunity going, which there was not even anything close to what was a passing opportunity for Pato in this match, which of course is what we expected. Now, we knew ahead of time that Pato had a very strong K entry, scoop grip with an outside hook. And so we exposed D to a lot of that by having his training partner start in that grip specifically and had him fight either towards counterattacks on the legs, like you see sort of happening here, or, of course, passes and back takes. But exposing him early to those connections in training, I think prepared him well for what he experienced with Pato here. Sometimes if you want to work on a threatening position from an opponent you know you're going to fight, just starting your training partners in the positions that your opponent is good at can be helpful. Now, one thing we were doing here, I'm going to see if D starts to do it, is anytime we get to the bottom and we want to increase threat, both for breaks on the legs and for good positioning on top, we create a cross-leg position. So one of the focus was while on the bottom, while fighting for inside position, the idea was to take one of Pato's legs and bring it from a straight alignment, meaning being on one side of the center line, bring it over to the other. The reason we do this is to gain access to inside entanglement, which in our opinion is one of the strongest finishing positions on the legs you can get. And then that cross leg also creates paths towards the hips and back. So by combining those two threats together, we felt like D would have a better chance of making Pato vulnerable to his attacks. Again, you can see some strong bites there from Pato, but again, we're 5 minutes in, so now the grips are starting to weaken a bit. And then we're back to the same thing, D fighting for the inside, controlling both ankles. Still has another opportunity to create the cross yet, but doing a great job with initial hand fighting. Again, Pato would need to start fighting for his own inside, start clearing feet and hands, which, as you see, he doesn't do well here. So we'll see if it's the same when they fight in a week or so. Another thing we train D to do against any standing-up partner is make attachments to both legs. Here we see the cross starting to be created. Anyway, making attachment to both legs to make it very difficult for the top player to maintain their base while under attack. So even grounded here as D fights for inside position, he's monitoring both legs to prevent Pato's defensive reactions and, of course, from building his base to start passing opportunities. So you see it again, finding the inside, finding both ankles, keeping Pato's heel high, not letting him base up. So one of the things we focus on here at Standard Jiu-Jitsu is creating conditions. Conditions being certain connections, alignments, or movement patterns that have certain effects on our partner or on our opponents. The ones, again, we discussed here that we focused on would be heel height, keeping inside connection with our feet, denying our partner inside position, and creating cross-leg alignments. And you see all of that here. One of the great things about not only our students here at Standard, but Deandre, is our training looks exactly like our competition. The things that we train for transfer very well to these performance environments. If you were to watch his prep for this leading up to it, you would see all of this happening on the training mat as you see here happening in this match. And so just looking back at it, it's really nice to see this level of focus and commitment to these tasks. And that's something we're seeing from Pato here. Like once Pato is going on the defensive, we don't see him create a lot of strong conditions here. He's not clearing the feet well. He's not fighting for inside position well. He moves. He's very implicit, right? He knows when he's in danger. He knows how to align himself to get out of it. But I don't see much progression in his grip fighting or in his positioning. And though we don't see much progression on D's side either, if we look at it critically, we see the majority of the match, he's in control of the connections. He's in control of the position where he wants to be in. And he's deciding whether he stays on bottom or goes to the top. Nothing is really being dictated by Pato here. I guess what I'd like to see more from D here would be commitment to his connections. Like he would see them momentarily, make flash adjustments, and they would separate again. So hopefully in this next match we can see more robust and consistent connection once D creates a path to where he wants to be. Having a long match with Deandre is going to be very difficult. The longer time, I think, aligns with his skill set. Withstanding his grip fighting and positioning for more than 10 minutes is brutal for anybody. So I think it'll be the same for Pato, just like anybody else. He tends to pick up steam as the match goes on. And as most people weaken, he gets stronger. The remainder of the match pretty much happens the same, so let's go ahead and take a look at the overtime. And we knew once it got to overtime, we'd probably get the decision win. No insult to Pato, but he has little to no wrestling experience. So we knew that Deandre would win these hand-fighting battles and probably win the initial takedown here in this exchange, or at least something that would benefit him. One of the things we see a lot from Deandre in training that we've been seeing recently in some of his matches is high-low faking, snap, knee tap, snap, knee tap. He's gotten a lot of good people to bite on this. Most recently in CJI, Miko was biting really hard in that combination. D was able to snap him and get to front headlock, and we see the same thing about to happen here in this match as well. This is sort of what gave the decision win, I think, this front headlock position you see happening when Pato ran at D for a shot. Now the issue here is that because it was ADCC rules, once Pato stays here for a few seconds, the score is reset. If he goes to his back, he's safe from being scored on. So the focus here with D was to maintain strong shoulder connection, get behind both middle joints, i.e. the elbow and the knee, and then try to maintain chest to back contact. But again, Pato's savvy here and avoids the score. Now D does get behind, gets chest to back, gets past the elbows and knees. But in following, he has a hard time maintaining it. He loses head position right there by lifting his head, going from underneath Pato to the top, and it gave Pato the space to spin his back towards the mat, which took away that opportunity from Deandre. And for the remainder of the match, we see the same thing that we did before. Strong hand fighting from D, clearing feet, staying close to the knees, denying inside position, and just making Pato carry his weight to victory. So